Christian, aren't you?
Yes, Professor.
So you believe in God.
Absolutely, Professor.
Is God good?
Of course, Professor.
Is God all-powerful?
Yes.
My brother died of cancer, even though he prayed to God to heal him. Most of us will attempt to help others who are ill, but God didn't help my brother. Then how is this God good? You can't answer, can you? Let's start again, young man. Is God good?
Yes.
Is Satan good?
No.
Where did Satan come from?
From God?
That's right. Tell me, son, is there evil in this world?
Yes.
Evil is everywhere, isn't it? And God made everything, is that correct?
Yes.
So, who created evil? Science says you have 5 senses that you can use to identify the world around you. Tell me, son, have you ever seen God?
No, sir.
Have you ever felt your God, tasted your God, smelled your God? Have you ever had any sensory perception of God for that matter?
No, sir. I'm afraid I haven't.
And you still believe in it?
Yes.
According to empirical, testable, demonstrable protocol, science says God doesn't exist. What do you say to that, son?
Nothing. I only have my faith.
Yes, faith. And that is the problem science has.
Professor, is there any such thing as heat?
Yeah.
And is there any such thing as cold?
Yes, of course. What kind of question is this? Of course it exists. Have you ever been cold?
No, sir. There isn't. Sir, you can have lots of heat, even more heat, superheat, mega heat, white heat, a little bit of heat, or no heat. We don't have anything called cold. We can have 458 degrees Fahrenheit below zero, which is no heat. We cannot go any further after that. There is no such thing as cold. Cold is merely a word we use to describe the absence of heat. We cannot measure cold. Heat is energy. Cold is not the opposite of heat, sir. It's just the absence of heat. What about darkness, Professor? Is there such a thing as darkness?
Yes. What is light if it isn't darkness?
You're wrong again, sir. Darkness is the absence of something. You can have low light, normal light, bright light, flashing light. We can study light, but not darkness. We can use Newton's prism to break white light into many colors and study the various wavelengths of each color. If you have no light, you have nothing. And that is called darkness, isn't it? In reality, darkness doesn't exist. If it did, you should be able to make darkness darker, shouldn't you?
So, what's your point, young man?
My point, sir, is that your philosophical premise is flawed.
Flawed? Explain how.
Sir, you are working on the premise of duality. You argue there is life, and then there is death, a good God and a bad God. You're viewing the concept of God as something finite, sir, something we can measure. Sir, science can't even explain fault. It uses electricity and magnetism, but has never seen, much less fully understood, either one. To view death as the opposite of life is to be ignorant of the fact that death cannot exist as a substantive thing. Death is not the opposite of life. It is just the absence of life. Now, you tell me, Professor, do you teach your students that they are evolved from monkeys?
If you are referring to the natural evolutionary process, yes, of course I do.
Have you ever observed evolution with your own eyes, sir? Since no one has ever observed the process of evolution, at work and cannot even prove that this process is an ongoing endeavor, are you not teaching your opinion, sir? You're not a scientist, but a preacher, aren't you? Is there anyone in the class who has ever seen the professor's brain? Is there anyone here who has ever heard the professor's brain? Felt it, touched it, smelled it? No one appears to have done so. Therefore, according to the rules of empirical, stable, demonstrable, protocol, science, says that you have no brain, sir. With all due respect, sir, how do we then trust your lectures, sir?
I guess you'll have to take him on faith.
That is exactly right, sir. The link between man and God is faith. That is all that keeps things alive and moving. Sir, does evil exist?
Of course, as I've already said, we see it every day. It's in the daily example of man's inhumanity to man. It's in the multitude of crime and violence everywhere in the world. These manifestations are nothing else but evil.
Evil does not exist, sir. Evil is simply the absence of love. It is just like darkness and cold, a word that man has created to describe the absence of God's love. God did not create evil. Evil is not like faith or love, which exists just as do light and heat. Evil is what remains when man does not have God's Spirit in his heart. It is like the cold that comes when there is no heat, or the darkness that comes when there is no light.